physiography. India is a vast country and it has a variety of landforms. They include mountains, plateaus, plains, valleys, and coastal plains. These have influence on the river system, climate, natural vegetation, land use, agriculture, transport, distribution of population, etc. Physiographic divisions of India. On the basis of physiography, India can be divided into four major divisions. They are the northern mountains, the northern Great Plains, the peninsular plateau, the coastal plains and islands. The northern mountains. They comprise of the Himalayas, which are a group of young fold mountains. They are the highest mountain ranges in the world. They have highest peaks, deep valleys and gorges, glaciers, passes, etc. In India, they extend from the Indus Gorge in the west to the Brahmaputra Gorge in the east for 2,400 kilometers. The width varies from 240 to 320 kilometers. They broader in the west and the narrower in the east. They covered an area of about 5 lakh kilometers square. The Himalayas consist of three parallel ranges. They are Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Sivalik Hills. The Greater Himalayas. They are the innermost, continuous and highest ranges. The average height of the range is 6,100 meters. Mount Everest, it is 8,848 meters, is the highest peak in the world. The other peaks are Kanchenjunga, 8,559 meters, Makulu, 8,481 meters, Dhaulagiri, 8,172 meters, Manaslu, 8,156 meters, Nanda Devi, etc. As the Greater Himalayas are covered with snow throughout the year, these ranges are called Himadri. The mountains lying to the northwest of the Himadri are called Trans-Himalayas. They comprise of Karakoram range, where the highest peak K2 or Mount Godwin Austen is located. The Lesser Himalayas. These ranges are located to the south of the Greater Himalayas. They are also known as Himachal. They are 60 to 80 kilometers wide and 1,500 to 4,500 meters high. There are many parallel ranges in the Lesser Himalayas. Example, the Pirpanjal, the Dhauladhar, the Nagartiba, the Mussoorie, the Mahabharat and the Darjeeling ranges. The Sivalik Hills. They are the outermost ranges or foothills located to the south of the main Himalayas. Therefore, they are also known as Outer Himalaya. They are the lowest range of the Himalayas with a height of 600 to 1,500 meters and the width varying from 15 to 150 kilometers. They extend from Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. They have flat bottom structured valleys which are known as dunes. Example, Dehradun. Importance. The Himalayas act as natural frontiers and prevent foreign invasion. They prevent the cold winds from Central Asia. Their slopes have thick forests and are ideal for plantation crops. Example, tea in Assam. They are a storehouse of minerals and the birthplace of many rivers and waterfalls which are used to generate hydroelectric power. The Northern Great Plain. The Northern Great Plain lies between the Himalayas and the Peninsular Plateau of India. It is formed by the depositional work of three river systems, namely the Satluj, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. It is the largest alluvial soil tract in the world, extending east to west a length of 2,500 kilometers. Its average width varies from 240 to 340 kilometers. It covers an area of about 7 lakh kilometers square. Importance. The Northern Great Plain is very suitable for irrigation and agriculture as it has perennial rivers and vast fertile alluvial soil. Its level land supports a network of roads, railways, and means of communication. They are useful for industrialization, urbanization, and trade. The Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is the largest physical division of India. It lies to the south of the Great Plains and occupies about 16 lakh kilometers square. It is roughly triangular in shape and its apex is found by Cape Kanyakumari in the southern extremity. It is bounded by many hills and plateaus, namely the Aravalli, Vindhyas, Satpuras, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, Chottanagapura Ranges, Deccan Plateau, Malava Plateau, etc. The Aravalli Range, the oldest fall mountain, lies to the northwest. Guru Shikhar, that is 1772 meters, is the highest peak on the Abu Hills of the Aravalli Range. The Western Ghats are a continuous range running parallel to the west coast of India from the Tapi Valley to Kanyakumari. They are also known as the Sahyadris. Anamudi, 2695 meters in the Anaimalai Hills, is the highest peak in South India. The Eastern Ghats run almost parallel to the east coast of India. They extend from the Mahanadi Valley in the north towards the Nilgiri Hills in the south, where they join the Western Ghats. The highest peak in the Eastern Ghats is Armakonda. Importance. Peninsular Plateau is rich in minerals, thick forest, and biodiversity. The Western Ghats are the birthplace of many South Indian rivers, which are useful for the generation of hydroelectricity. The coastal plains. The plateau of peninsular India is fringed by coastal plains on either side. The coastal plains extends from the Rann of Kutch in the west to the delta of the Ganga in the east. The coastal plain can be divided into two parts, the western coastal plain and the eastern coastal plain. The western coastal plain. The western coastal plain. It lies between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. It extends from the Rann of Kutch to Kanyakumari. It can be divided into three parts. The Konkan coast, which lies to the south of the Gujarat plain, extends from Daman to Goa. The Karnataka coast, which extends from Goa to Mangaluru, and the Malabar coast, which extends from Mangaluru to Kanyakumari. The eastern coastal plain. This extends from the north of river Subarnarekha to Kanyakumari. It lies between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. Traditionally, the eastern coastal plain is divided into two parts, the northern Sirkar, which lies to the north of river Krishna, and the southern part, which is called Coromandel coast. Importance. The coastal plains of India provide some natural harbours which help in carrying a foreign trade. They are Kandla, Mumbai, Marmagova, Kochi, Vishakhapatnam, Kolkata, etc. The coastal plains are useful for fishing, shipbuilding, agriculture, and production of salt. Islands of India. There are about 247 islands in India. Of these, 204 are in the Bay of Bengal and 43 are in the Arabian Sea. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are in the Bay of Bengal. The Lakshadweep Islands are in the Arabian Sea and are formed by corals. Summary. On the basis of physiography, India can be divided into four major divisions. They are the Northern Mountains, the Northern Great Plains, the Peninsular Plateau, the Coastal Plains and Islands. The Himalayas consist of three parallel ranges. They are Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Sivalik Hills. In India, they extend from the Indus Gorge in the west to the Brahmaputra Gorge in the east for 2,400 kilometers. Mount Everest, it is 8,848 meters, is the highest peak in the world. The northern Great Plain lies between the Himalayas and the Peninsular Plateau of India. The coastal plains extends from the Rann of Kutch in the west to the delta of the Ganga in the east. The Peninsular Plateau is the largest physical division of India. It lies to the south of the Great Plains and occupies about 16 lakh kilometers square. The Western Ghats are a continuous range running parallel to the west coast of India from the Tapi Valley to Kanyakumari. They are also known as the Sahyadris. The Eastern Ghats run almost parallel to the east coast of India. They extend from the Mahanadi Valley in the north towards the Nilgiri Hills in the south, where they join the Western Ghats. There are about 247 islands in India. Of these, 204 are in the Bay of Bengal and 43 are in the Arabian Sea.